RapidSOS this is their website. Okay, it's a company that provides additional services to the 911 world, and there are lots to the services. Okay, but the one that we're interested in is the location. Okay, so what's happening is RapidSOS has there's a mobile application that they claim is loaded on up to 90% of smartphones, at least in the United States, that are shipped. And they've got agreements with Apple and Android manufacturers to load that app on there. So what happens is when the owner of that phone dials 911, it fires up this application unbeknown to the user of the phone and starts making a connection to a data connection to the RapidSOS, and starts populating a database with location and any other information it can pull off the phone. It can even, it will even do things like, from what I understand, in addition to the location, will push, if they're in an Uber vehicle on an Uber ride, it'll push the license plate and all the information about the Uber driver. See it right there on the page, it's saying teaming with Uber. And then, of course,
I actually, sorry to interrupt, but I don't see anything shared.
Oh, I didn't share. Darn it. Okay, hang on. Give me a second. You're right, I didn't share. Share screen.
Yeah, add a bit to it. Okay.
There it is. Okay, now you see it, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So yeah, this is their website. It's not a very exciting website, but anyway, we get the idea. This is the future of 911 connectivity. This is what I consider to be NG 911. So anyway, this is the product. That's as far as I'll go. Our main concern is the location, although maybe at some point in the future we will do something different. So what happens for us is, I will just give you an overview here. So what happens is, as I mentioned, when a caller, a 911 caller, dials 911 on their smartphone, makes a data connection, if it can, of course, to RapidSOS, in addition to letting that call go through to the local PSAP that it would connect to. Then what happens is the dispatcher, uses whatever information they can get from that RapidSOS connection in real time to try to serve that 911 caller better. Of course, location is good. If they can get other need information like, like I said, Uber information or Uber license plate numbers, etc., they do that all in real time and try to assist with the addressing the 911 concern on the call. That's not us, okay? But what's happening while that's occurring is as we start getting that, recording that call, okay, we make an association between the Annie Alley number that we get, okay, or calling party, whatever way we get a calling party number. And what we do is then at that point do a dip into the RapidSOS database. It's called the RapidSOS Data Warehouse is the actual correct term for it. And we will then start polling, if we can find a match between the phone number and what's in the RapidSOS Data Warehouse, we'll start polling the RapidSOS Data Warehouse for locations. And then what we'll do is start populating our database with those locations we get back from RapidSOS, okay? So it's really no different than any other kind of metadata connection, okay? However, there's a couple things to keep in mind with the RapidSOS integration. Number one, it does not work during instant recall, okay? So the call, of course, can be done with instant recall, but you will not be able to access any of these locations during instant recall, okay? And the primary reason for that is that we are not a dispatch system, we're a recording system, okay? So we don't want dispatchers using the NexLog application as a method to dispatch resources to a location. That's not our job. That's the job of the actual dispatch software, whatever CAD system they have or other tools that they use. So our RapidSOS data will only come available after the call is over. And that's written into the integration document as a disclaimer and making people understand that we're not responsible for being involved in the real-time dispatch of resources in this environment. We're there simply to basically provide a forensic replay of what happened with the locations combined with the audio call, and we play them back in synchronization. And I have a little demo I'll show you after we're done. But the next thing I want to do is just go through the integration document. We have an integration document. Okay. Juan has used it to help one of the first customers, and he said it was fairly useful. So it goes along like all the other ones. Okay. So here's the introduction. It talks about what RapidSOS is, pretty much what I just described. You can see a static graphic here of a call in play, and we'll look at that later. That comes from the demo that I have. Okay, here is the terms of use and about the RapidSOS integration, and basically saying that it's not to be used for dispatching resources. It's all in a post real-time type thing. Okay, so here we get into the meat of the integration and what you guys will have to do to help customers. And it was the initial sticking point is in order for the customer's NexLog. So basically, to make this happen, what you might imagine, of course, is you got to get a connection from the NexLog at the customer's location to the RapidSOS data warehouse. Okay, so the agency that's using this, okay, they have to, of course, pay licensing fees to RapidSOS or whatever that is. We have no idea. That's up to them. However, if they do that correctly, what will happen is they will be able to get credentials that will allow them to connect to the RapidSOS data warehouse. Okay. Oh, that'll be great for whoever listens to this recording. So anyway, you have to have RapidSOS credentials to be able to connect the Eventide recorder to the RapidSOS data warehouse. And here is some information and instructions on how someone might go about getting that. They have to sign up for that integration. If they have any trouble with that, they can contact RapidSOS, but that's really all on the RapidSOS side. They shouldn't bother to even try to get the integration working on the NexLog recorder until they've gone through step 3 here. Okay. And then the licensing on our side is one, if they don't have it already, of course they would need some kind of anti-alley integration, because as I mentioned earlier, the way we make the connection between the audio call that we're recording, the voice call that we're recording, and the RapidSOS data warehouse is through the number we get. Okay, we find a match. So they obviously have to have this. If they don't have it already, they'll have to buy it, but most people will have this already. Okay, then of course they need GeoSearch view license, the typical one for mapping. Okay, and then there's a separate RapidSOS integration license 271176. Okay, and that's it. If they have all those things, it should work. At this point in time, it's not in the latest 284 CS2. It's a patch that would have to be added. I have that patch on a shared drive, so we can use that, but it will be included in 285. Now the configuration part on the Eventide side. So I won't read this to you, but basically what it amounts to is that script will put a bunch of code in, among other things, but it will also add a custom script file to the system, and it will also add a custom script configuration file. The custom script source file will go in there and shouldn't be touched, because that's just the code that was done to support making this work, among other things that were done under the hood. Okay, but then there's a configuration file that gets loaded. Okay, and here's the sample configuration file, and this is where in the previous step where they get the credentials from RapidSOS is where they need to enter these in. Okay, username and password to make this work. The URL that they're given to the RapidSOS server. Okay, can't guarantee that it's going to be the same all the time because we don't know how that really works, but they will get a URL to access the system, and then they need to list here the channels, okay, that are in the system that will be used for tagging calls with the location information. And then finally, here is the RapidSOS metadata fields that will get created in the system when this integration is added. You can see them all here. There's a lot of data here, but the only one that's really of interest and will be useful to the user is the one that contains all the different locations. And they can gain access to them through the MediaWorks Plus, but mostly what people will be doing is using it to create an incident, that shows the movement of the vehicle or the person throughout the call, or just the better location. Couple things. One, you might think going into this that the only calls, 911 calls that might have RapidSOS data associated with them would be mobile phones, okay? But that's not true, okay? Because what RapidSOS is doing is they're on an ongoing basis, they're importing lat-long locations of landline phones, okay? They get these locations from Medic Alert and all these other third-party companies that provide location services for the elderly and other people who need that sort of thing. So it will, even if it's a landline phone, and of course that phone is not going to move anywhere, we will possibly get a hit in the RapidSOS data warehouse. So we'll not only get the address location that we normally get in a traditional anti-alley situation, we'll also get a lat long now on a landline if it gets a hit in the database. I think that's it. Before I go to show you the quick video demo, any questions?
I had the obvious one, since there is an anti-alley integration beforehand, and some of these fields kind of overlap. Like, for example, caller ID, obviously it should be the same, but some of those other positions, like if we do get location from the anti-alley originally, and then we pull it from RapidSOS, they're going to overwrite each other, or are they going to create custom fields for the RapidSOS?
Yeah, there are unique and custom fields for RapidSOS. And when you look on the, when you see the little demo here, you'll see we don't touch the anti-alley. They're completely separate because they will come in as different. So the caller ID will have to be the same because that's the only way we find the data in the RapidSOS data warehouse now. But yeah, you're right. The locations, it's a totally different custom field for RapidSOS locations.
Okay.
And they're actually accented differently on the map.
Okay.
So
that's the only difference I want to...
Okay, cool. Let's do this. Where'd it go? Here it is. Okay.
Brad, I have one question.
Yep.
So when we're talking about, let's say, mobile phone, and obviously their location data keeps updating in the course of the call.
Yep.
When we play back, do we store the historical positions where the phone is at?
Exactly.
Okay.
You'll that's exactly that's one of the major value adds of this whole thing. Okay. And you'll see it right here. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it too. I'm going to play this video.
Okay.
This is to demonstrate our Eventide NexLog 740 integration with RapidSOS. So what you see here is our MediaWorks Plus interface showing a call that has RapidSOS location data integrated into it. So what I will do is, the best way to show this is with the map, of course. So I'll bring up the map, and what you see are the locations here for this call. And you'll see first there's an alley location, and then there's the first RapidSOS location. You can see they're rather far away from each other. The alley location is in Hackensack, and the first RapidSOS location is in Little Ferry, about 1.5 miles away from each other. That was done intentionally far away from each other to demonstrate the reality that the alley location is going to come in from a triangulated tower algorithm versus the RapidSOS location, which is going to come in from a phone from a GPS that's reported into a data warehouse. So what I'll do then is zoom in on the RapidSOS location, okay, in Little Ferry here, and I can place my mouse over that and see the details of the RapidSOS location. And then what I can do is start playing the call. And you'll start hearing the call, and it'll be in synchronization with the subsequent RapidSOS locations. So 911, what's your emergency? As I start playing the call, you can see the breadcrumbs represent dips into the RapidSOS data warehouse as the call progresses. This is most likely a car or someone running maybe, and as they move around this neighborhood here in Little Ferry, you can see the breadcrumbs lighting up to reflect the locations that have been retrieved from the RapidSOS data warehouse. And you can see this person moved through here and wound up at this location, J. Gennaro Trucking. And well, what I can do also is make it a little more interesting. I can add the satellite data versus the map data. I can rewind the call to the beginning. You can see the highlighting will go away. And if I start the call again, 911, what's your emergency? You'll see those same location points being highlighted as the individual moves throughout the duration of the call. If I stop the call, you'll see the advancement of the highlighted breadcrumb stops. But if I start the call again, they will pick up from where they left off, and you can follow that call from beginning to end based on the actual accurate location that has been retrieved from the RapidSOS data warehouse. Were you able to hear that and see that?
Yes.
Pretty cool, huh? That's it.
For some reason, the fields that you have listed here on this page seem to be different than what was displayed there, but because it was a ROS_location.
Yeah. I can ask Kevin about that. I don't know if this may be internal stuff that he needs in his config file. That's why he says no changes are required here, and he may be just exposing only the that custom field that gets created as part of the when the integration gets added.
Okay.
So that has to be added by us, right? It's not something that's going to be populated automatically there.
No. This whole config file will be added when you either add the integration in 285, or if you put the patch on an earlier version of on like CS2. The only thing that we have to go in is modify these particulars here, or we don't have to, but the dealers will be able to do this. But this is where we can help them. Is this information from here down should not be touched, and I honestly don't know exactly what it does. At that. So you shouldn't have to add anything except for you really shouldn't have to add anything because there isn't under the current setup, there isn't a particular integration page or screen for this. It just it's all done within the exposed config files.
So just to clarify, the patch or whatever will automatically add those custom fields needed for it also?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So after a patch, though, how is this going to be implemented in a full firmware? Is it based on you put in an add-on license key and then therefore those fields would then populate?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a separate RapidSOS license key that will cause it to happen.